What is going on, guys? Sean Don coming back with yet again another technical analysis. Here we have Chris Keegan. Chris signed up for the throws coaching over on www.gripandrip.co, and included with that is an in-depth technical analysis, which is what you are watching. So just food for thought if you guys want to sign up for any coaching monthly subscriptions. It doesn't even have to be a subscription. You just sign up for monthly coaching, technical throws programming, lifting programming, complete programming, whatever it is. Included with it is a free in-depth technical analysis to get you started. So go check out www.gripandrip.co and sign up now. It's the time to act. Competition season is here. Make those changes, throw farther, and love to help you guys out. So let's get into this video. Chris is a 63-meter thrower from good old Connecticut. And this is actually his PR throw from last season, his very first meet of the year last season, 63-61, I believe. Good, hearty yell, excellent celebration. Yes, Chris has said he's had trouble kind of living up to this same mark since he's done it. He's looking for the technical cues to get things fixed. And looking at the throw itself, it's very patient, very long. I think you're just a little misdirected. Your orbit doesn't make it the easiest to work the hammer or work with the hammer. And I think this is, an example of like your technique doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as the ball does the right thing, then you can still throw far. So what I'm here to do is to help you find the things to make it easier to let the ball do the right thing. So also, we're going to take a small look at this other terrible quality video, unfortunately, of a more recent video of Chris. I think it was this past weekend down at LSU. It's so grainy and so pixelated. It's really hard to work things out. But, I can see the general movements, the general pictures being painted. So we're going to take a look at the first video because it's better quality and it is a better view being from the back of the circle. Yeah, so let's break it down. So, like I said, 4 turns, 2 winds. The big thing seems to be, like I said, your orbit and then kind of where you're placing the weight of your body. So like this step up, facing the right really well. Nice, long, relaxed. Like that's the thing in this throw is it's very patient, very long and patient. You're shifting back over to this left side pretty well. Left side's nice and stable. And then, so what I think you need to do after this, and this is just talking in terms of the body, like I said, there's 2 parts to it. There's your orbit and then your body. We'll talk about the body first. But the body is, you set up this left side really well, ball goes through 0, and then you continue to kind of move around this left side. You can also see you stand up a little bit, you rise up a little bit with the hammer. That's going to affect your connection. You're super long and relaxed to the upper body, which is great, but you're almost too far over the left side. That's the thing in the hammer. You want the ball to go around the left. You don't want to go around the left. You want to stay centered. And it looks like here you're trying to get around the left a little bit. And with that, you can see you don't quite complete a full rotation with the hammer. As you can see, catching early is not actually a good thing, folks. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it shouldn't be something you strive for, especially catching this early. Like, yes, you're catching at 180, but that doesn't necessarily, like, yes, it means you're going to have more time with your feet on the ground, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the most efficient use of your energy because you're going to catch, and you really can't work the hammer until it gets to about, I don't know, maybe just in front of you. You can see you're going to catch. You're nice and long and you're very patient with it, but like catching this early is can be super problematic because you do have to be incredibly patient. And if you get in meet scenario and you do grip and rip at all, catching this early, it's going to cause some problems. But this left heel comes down, and then, like I said, you're just too far over this left side. You're not back over this right side enough. You can see where your hips are going to go. They're going to go shoom and shift down back over this left side again. And then same thing here. Left hips or hips going to go back, and you see you're traveling down the right sector line. And what we're in turn 3 here. One more turn. Now you're starting to get back over that right side because I feel like your body has a natural way of understanding of like, oh shoot, I'm going too far down the right sector line. I need to course correct, and I need to pull this left side more to stay back on this right side more. And then because of that, you do it just right. And like I said, you have just enough patience. You can really see kind of your tight left arm. Like I said, this video isn't even the best quality either, but you can see your left arm is tight across the body. Your head's turned. You're pulling it across, and then you just do the right thing and get your hips underneath you here. It's not perfect. You're a little bit forward with the chest. You're not quite back over this left hip with the upper body, but your right hip is underneath you, and that's why you're able to deliver a strong finish. You can see that right hip really work up and through the ball, both hips up, extending out into the. So like you really get all of that finish. That's for sure. It's just a matter of, like I said, so the first part of this is you're too far around the left side. So what you need to do is, let's go forwards a little bit. What you need to do is, I like how stable the left side is in entry. Boom, stable left side. Then after the ball passes 0, excuse me, you need to stay back on the right leg a little bit more. So like you can keep your left shoulder out there, but you need to stay back on this right leg a little bit more. And then be much, much more patient. Or like I said, this right foot kind of picks up before the ball gets to 90. Not like you need to keep your right foot down, but you need to have a better sense of rotation. All right, like I said, you're kind of just like slinging the hammer out there to the left, and then there just needs to be more rotation on the hammer. Rotation meaning like the full 360 degrees of movement on the hammer. You're cutting it off a little bit early by picking up and then stepping so soon. All right, so that's part one, is being back on the right side more. And then so let's say you're back on the right side more. On this first catch, you're going to catch a little bit more back around, even with the left foot, not necessarily so staggered. You're going to catch maybe, let's say, if you catch more in the direction of like the left sector line, like 315, no, not 315, it's too far, 270, 235, 225, whatever it might be. Somewhere in the direction of there, I think that'd be better. You'd have a better time lining things up. You'd have a better direction through the circle, like I said, because going down this right side of the circle is a little bit problematic for you. Also, technically, the left side does need to kind of rotate backwards. There's really no backwards pendulum with this left side. It's just kind of, as you can see, you sling it around and it just kind of stays where it is. And you're just kind of rotating in place and stepping forwards with the right leg. So a little bit of pressure backwards, especially as the ball goes left. Push through this left knee a little bit. Rotate this left shoulder backwards to 180. That'll help a lot. But then the second thing that kind of goes into this is, like I said, the orbit. Low point is very far off to the right. Let's say 45, 70, 60 before 0. So then same thing, low point is going to be there, and then high point is going to be around the left, just at about 90. And then same thing, you catch super early, your left shoulder's down, which is great, but then low point kind of stays where it is, and you can see your low point is actually kind of like right there, about 270-ish. And then from there, the only way, when the hammer, and this is just general lessons, when the hammer's off to the right side, you're going to have to fight it. You're going to have to pull with the left side to get it across out in front of you, for the most part. At least that's going to be the natural reaction. Like, yes, you can be patient, it might work itself out, but the left side is going to have to pull, and you have to fight against the hammer, where I'd rather see the low point a little bit more at 0, at the least. All right. So with this low point so far off to the right, this left side is going to get tight. You're going to pull across more. You can see your head turning ahead. Your body's pretty connected to it, but your head wants to go early. You're kind of spotting. You're looking for the hammer. And same thing, you catch super early there, almost too early. And you can see this left side start to go even more, pulling even more. Your low point is getting, oh, it still kind of looks like it's right about there-ish. But then the noticeable thing is your high point is going down this right sector line. You especially need to get the high point a little bit more towards 180 to get better direction. And then see, so you can see here with the hammer, high point off to the camera view right to your left. Like I said, it's still technically would be your right if you're facing it. High point off to the right of 180. You catch a little heavy, your chest comes down a little bit, you're fighting. The ball is working you down as you're working down. That's not a good thing. All right, if the hammer is working down, you need to at the very least hold, or work up against it to an extent. So you can see you're getting pulled down a little bit here, and then reaction naturally is to pull the left side even more. Like I said, as we've already talked about, high point stays where it is and never really moves because you're not letting the hammer get a full rotation. That doesn't have to be necessarily 360 degrees, but you need to, like, let's say you're only like letting the hammer travel, maybe 180 degrees, maybe, 270, or I don't know the exact distance of, but it seems like you're cutting off the rotation. All right, like I said, the ball isn't making a full turn around you. You're always kind of cutting it off with this left side. So that's kind of the two big things there. Low point a little bit more at 0, and then stay back on that right leg a little bit more, okay? And then to translate that to what is happening now, I think this will make much more sense. Once again, not the best quality video, but it's kind of the same things. You're over the left a little bit too much. Orbit is a little bit better here, but I think you're just still around the left too much. So in the winds and stuff, everything looks pretty good. Your posture could be better too. You are, like I said, very relaxed through the shoulders and upper body, but you're almost a little bit too forward. Your chest comes down a lot. But through here, you can also see the left side leading. Low point still right around here, but you see this kind of left side getting ahead. You do a good job waiting for it, but then same thing, I think your chest is a little bit too far forwards. I think you need to be chest up just a little bit more. Your shoulders can be long and relaxed and out, but you don't want your chest to be down. All right, that means your hips are back away from you for the most part. And then same thing here, you don't quite have enough pressure through this left foot keeping you back over this right leg. Towards the end of double support in this entry, you do need to be back a little bit more over this right leg. And maybe this could be as simple as fixing your posture, not getting your chest so pulled forwards around the left. And then that will help keep you back around the right. Everything else you keep the same, it'll be good. It'll line up better. It'll be more natural, like I said, but you're just so long around the left that it's almost unnatural to catch as early as you do. But that's the thing, like I said, I'm not going to tell you to not catch early. I'd advise against it, but if you want to catch early, you just got to be ultra patient. That's the hard thing. But you catch, things are a little bit better, but you're still, like, at this point it's already set up. You're going down what would be this right sector line. And based on the other two videos you sent me, it happened more dramatically where, like, even the hammer handle caught the cage on the right side of the cage. But yeah, otherwise, your hips really never quite get underneath you. A little bit towards the end of double support. But once again, I think it's just because your chest is so far forwards. So this is a posture thing as well here. And then you catch. Left side pulled back. Hips aren't quite underneath you. You can see the high point is down that line right there, down the right sector line-ish. And then same thing, you catch. Left side pulls across more. So it's like, once again, I think your body knows that it's going down this right sector line. It needs to be going down 180. So that's why it pulls the left side more and more, because that's the only way to stay centered at this point. If you don't set it up right, you got to pull the left side to stay centered. So hips finally starting to get up into it a little bit there. You're starting to lean back a little bit as the left side does come back. But at this point, it's a little bit too late. You catch and you kind of lose tension here. You lose connection. Left shoulder's down, but you're kind of up with it, up in the legs a little bit, wide stance. You're like, literally, you're catching yourself. You're falling too much to the point where you're not on balance with the hammer. Then you see this right foot come down, this left foot kind of collapse, and then your hips get up through it. So like your finish is pretty strong. You just got to set it up better in entry. So like I said, be centered a little bit more. Use that left leg to pressure back. Keep your chest up. Focus on that posture. Stuff like that. All right. So Chris, let me know if you have any questions. I'm excited to help you out. I think you got potential. 65 is on the horizon. We can get some of these things figured out because you have the power. It looks like it's there. Just got to direct it better. All right. So if anybody else out there would like technical analysis, coaching, throws programming, lifting, whatever you need, hit me up, gripandrip.co. All right. It's time to go. I got to start packing for my meet this weekend. All right. Sean Don, signing off.